You're muted. You're muted.
It's not showing me muted.
No, you're not muted.
Yeah. Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the April 18, 2026 installment of the Focus Up Show. We thank you for tuning in with us live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube and various other platforms, for catching up with us on replay. And we ask that you click that like, that subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly focus. I am Mr. Nice Guy, nice as in the word saint spelled backwards, and my co-host today, our brother Walk, host of Sex Talk with Walk Thursday at 9 p.m. and a co-star of Street Focus on Sundays at 6 p.m. We got Student X, star of Mutant Politics, and there will be a Mutant Politics today at 10:30 a.m. We're missing Afro Agnostics. He's probably going to come on, star of those Afro Agnostic videos, co-contributor to Objective Deconstruction, and he will be on Mutant Politics. And we have Mr. Floyd X, the boss man, co-star.
I'm a boss. I'm not with that. It's never nothing no more.
We're all muted. We're all muted. The video muted everybody.
So bottom line is co-star of Street Focus on Sundays at 6 p.m. with Brother Walk, Mr. Floyd X.
Yeah.
We seem to have infamous El Pooh, who is star of Spin That Back. No Spin That Pack today. Infamous must be busy taking care of some stuff. So, no First Lady J, no AB, but who knows? Maybe somebody will pop in. What's going on with you, Brother Walk?
Oh, just still moving, still handling business, taking it easy. I took a little break from everything that's going on. I'm good.
Congratulations to you, brother. That's a big thing. So, Student X, sir, what's going on with you, sir?
Bro, just another day. Eager to talk about all the going-ons in the world. And there's a lot.
And this Mutant Politics, what is this going to be about?
Yeah, no, we're gonna just talk about Trump. Is he a chess master here, or is he bluffing? So yeah, we're gonna get into it.
What time is that? 10:30.
10:30 a.m. We'll see how we do on this show, and then right after this show, we'll transition to that one shortly thereafter.
That's what's up. All right, so Mr. Floyd X, what's going on with you, sir?
Chillin', man. I was in a domino tournament last week. I almost won $200. Domino tournament. My game. I know my game is on point though. I was 2-0, knocking them out the box. 1 gone, 2 gone, third one. Okay, it was a 3 and 2 out of 1, and then somebody finally got me out the game, and I was pissed off, but I had a good time.
Did you lose to the champ, or you just they lost as well?
I didn't stick around to see who won. I left.
He took his ball and left.
Man, come on, LeBron. You got to stick around.
I can stick around and see who won.
Man. Anyway, well, let's get to the get. Speaking of LeBron, Lakers play today. First game of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And they're down 2 big soldiers. No Austin Reeves, no Luka Doncic, and they got the Houston Rockets. They're gonna be dealing with KD. That's the odds are against them, but we'll see how it plays out. They kind of just need to hold it together to at least some reinforcements come back. How far you think they're gonna go, Mr. Floyd X? We'll start with you.
They're going all the way. Come on, man. They're going all. You see that LA Lakers, they're going all the way, goddammit. All the way.
All right, that's what's up. Student X, what you feel about the Lakers?
We'll be done quick, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Austin Reeves out, Luka's out, Houston is hungry. They got Emeka, what's his name? Emeka Ogador, what was his name? Dude that cheated on the female actress.
Neil Long.
Yeah. But brother's a solid coach, and
she's looking for youngins, one night stands.
Say again.
I said she's looking for youngins and one night stands. You just got to sign an NDA.
Oh man, shoot, man, come on, man. Kevin Samuel said it best, man. Winter is coming. Don't make me share the picture. Winter is coming.
They talk about Ime Udoka.
There you go, Ime Udoka. Thank you, appreciate that. I knew it was something.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Brother Walt.
I'm with Floyd X. Lakers going all the way.
All the way.
All the way home.
Hey, get your ass out of here. Get him
that
off.
was a beautiful setup right there, boy. Beautiful setup. I didn't even see that one coming. That was cold.
Me neither. I thought he was down with me.
Yeah, I mean, like the reality is, man, we're starting Ayton, Jackson Hayes, Hachimura, Marcus Smart, and 41-year-old LeBron. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I mean, hopefully we could get a game out, you know what I mean, of it and not get swept. But we had the 3rd seed and then slipped when those stars went down to the 4th seed. You know what I mean? Hell, if we had any longer, you know, before the end of the season, we might have slipped all the way out. You know, depending on how long they're gonna be gone. But yeah, they're not coming back anytime soon. So, you know, it's one and done. You know, but you know, next year, we'll see what happens.
Well, hopefully this will be another failed Student X prediction. Welcome to the party, Mr. Alpha Agnostics. What's going on with you, sir?
Hey, what up, though, everybody?
I would ask you about how you think the Lakers are going to go, but you're probably more concerned about how far your Pistons are going to go. So how far are your Pistons going to go?
Yeah, and I'm not even aware of what's going on.
Yeah, man. You know, be tripping.
Yeah.
See what
that haven't been said.
No,
Pistons is the 1st seed? Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Pistons are for real. Seed. Not only they are the 1st seed in the East. Not only they're for real, but you know they are dealing with that. They're getting their star back. So you know, so they're going to be at full power. So we'll see how that play out. You know,
they're not fake, but Boston was without, you know, my folks from St. Louis damn near all year, and he just came back recently. So had he been playing, you know, then they wouldn't have the 1st seed, you know. So I can tell you that right now. But you know, they definitely, you know, perform well. Kay Cunningham is doing well. Duran, the center over there, balling. You know, got some great young guards coming off the bench. So yeah, they were.
They've been out there star player for quite some time, so I don't know if that would have played out so well. So, do we got some comments from? What's happened there? I was looking forward to Big Cuz, where you at, man? Where your Warriors at? You know, but anyway.
What up, Mr. Ryan Fulbright? Welcome to the show.
All right,
so sad.
Well, hopefully you're not too sad about the Lakers, and that we'll get it together. So after that, hey. Let's pull up this video. Let's talk about. Let's talk about some good news. This principal in Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? This dude. This was a youngster who. Oh, wait a second. Hopefully, I'm not dying out here. But whoops. Sorry about that. But the bottom line is someone who was a previous student who basically showed up with bad intention.
Oh, damn! We lost him. So we
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah. All right. So he talking about the principal who attacked. I got the video for it. We're gonna play the video and speak on this this hero. I call him a hero. He saved the day.
Oh, straight up.
Tonight, new video of the heart-stopping moments a gunman walks into Pauls Valley High School in Oklahoma. You can see a pistol in hand. But watch what unfolds next. Principal Kirk Moore in the blue shirt emerging from another door and tackling the suspect, identified by police as 20-year-old Victor Hawkins, a former student of the school. Just feet away, you can see a young person slip out during Moore's fast-acting efforts. Authorities say the principal was shot in the chaos, but managed to get the suspect to drop the gun. Another staff member then scrambling to pick it up.
It doesn't surprise me.
Salute to that man. Salute to that hero. Man.
No. Is there someone that's debating that he's not a hero?
Nah, I haven't heard that. He's a hero. He's a hero. Every day
we are giving props to basically someone who took care of something that was big. My only criticism was they kind of just kicked that gun away and whatever. It's like, no, you need to secure that gun right away. Once you don't just kick it to, this ain't the movies where you just kick it to the side, you're done. You know what I'm saying? You need to secure that weapon and do that. But the bottom line is, you know, salute to them. And I hope that dude does not get out like ever. What was you about to say, brother? Alpha Agnostics?
Sorry, no, still a lot of questions to be asked as far as how he entered the building and whatever protocol, because they have protocol for that. So, but yeah, definitely he should be retired. They should give him full retirement. They should give him full benefits to that age, and he should be done with it. He got shot in the leg. He looks, older. He made the quick right move right there. He did it.
Start that GoFundMe, brother, on his behalf, brother. Start that GoFundMe. Straight up.
That's the district's burden.
It's about what was that chicken shit that ran after he got his life saved? He saved his life and he ran like a chicken shit.
Yeah.
I think that was a student. That was but still, yeah, it was. I think it was the student because he actually, he shot at a student. I don't think he actually hit the student, but he actually shot that principal that tackled him. So,
still a chicken shit.
Hey, at the end of the day, man, I'm just glad that the right people were okay.
Right.
And again, like I said, I hope they throw the book at this dude. He told him, he said, "Look, I plan to kill some people and kill myself." That fool is dangerous. He can't just get out and basically be a threat again. So but salute to them people. And what do we have up next after that? Sorry about that.
King Harris brings shame to the Harris dynasty. I would rename. I should have renamed this. I don't think it was real shame. I watched the video of the arrest. I'm gonna play a clip of the video of the arrest. He got arrested, pulled over, wearing a Pikachu uniform or Pikachu pajamas or something.
Pikachu.
All right, so let me play the video real quick and let y'all be the judge. Was he right or was he working within his legal perimeters?
Obstruction. I don't feel safe. If you not get out of the car, you'll be arrested for obstruction. You're not telling me a valid reason why. That's a perfectly valid reason. Like, Google it if you want to. It's not going to end well for you. Let me call my lawyer, man. You have that right, but you're not even under arrest right now. You're still just detained. Stay in my car. No, you don't. Yeah, I do. Get out of the car. Hey, Quinn. So I'm pulled over right now, and they telling me I got to get out the car for what reason? Because we're going to have a conversation back at the back of the car. They want to have a conversation. You need to get out of the car. Doesn't matter why. Doing it. I'm not getting out the car because you want to have a... No, I'm not getting out the car. Okay. All right. So all right. But this time you are under arrest. You are not free to leave. Man, you are under arrest. I'm not.
All right. So that was the video. He ended up getting arrested. T.I., his pops, came to the scene and tried to reason with the officer to see if there was anything he could do to prevent the arrest, but they said nope, he going to jail. And real quick, I watched the clip aftermath when his big brother came and talked to him about it. He said, "What did I do wrong? When they pulled up on me, I put the gun on the dashboard so it could be in plain sight." So that made sense to me. It wasn't like he was just driving around with it on the dashboard acting crazy. He put it on there so when the police could see that it's right there in plain sight. But what's y'all take on it?
Student X, I want to hear from you first. You always have a pretty good take about interacting with the police.
Yeah, so are we just talking about, well, I guess we could start there, but I just want to say that, I just anticipate you all trying to clown, the brother in his Pikachu outfit, man. For those that don't know, man, Pajammy Jammy Jams was the bomb back in the day, and then when you grow up, ain't nothing changed, you know what I mean?
Is that your king?
Man, look, out in Cali, man, especially out in the hills. But man, look, man, I tell you about some epic parties, man. I've been Superman, Spider-Man. Hey, that's another story. But back to this police angle, brother. Is that straight up? Is that the bottom line? Is I think it's ridiculous of how he was interacting with the police in just general, right there. You know what I mean? You guys know how I feel about the situation. Is just be as compliant as you can be, it was within reason. And if the officer wanted you to get out the car, you know what I mean? And, they're sitting there arguing, especially when you call your lawyer, and he told you, that you had to go ahead and get out, and you still took that position. I don't know why you even put yourself in that position to where something, bad could happen, so, it is what it is, but now I always just recommend, just being more conservative, in these moments with these police, because I want the young people in particular to take it from the mindset. It's not all police, but someone that they might have, in their mind that they want to harm you. So don't just give them a reason. The same reason why I argue that ultimately, I hold Iran accountable for all these actions that happen on them, because it's like, man, you got the 60% uranium, enriched. Instead of coming at these white boys talking about, I got 60% uranium, you should just came with a weapon. You know what I mean? You know, because just by you going halfway like that, you put yourself in danger now to go ahead and have the full heat come at you. I mean, so you should just right here. You know, is that man? You know, but you know, either come all the way, go all the way there. You know what I mean, or just be compliant. Don't go in the middle.
Yeah, they clearly don't have the weapon. Brother Watt, go ahead.
I agree with everything Student just said. Regardless of why he got pulled over, was he in his legal? It's too much attention being drawn to this kid, and what you putting the pistol on the dashboard for? Like who you think you is, little boy? Like you need to stay your ass at home and raise your son that you have and stay out of trouble. You're getting too much attention. Pretty soon somebody gonna knock him down or something bad gonna happen. I would be very afraid for my son if he was getting this much attention. Let's check this out. And look, regardless of was it a legal stop or was they in their right to ask me about the car? Here's the thing. I remember when I first came home, I was in a car where my boy had a pistol, one had like a pound of weed, and one was talking shit to the police, and we got pulled over. And I'm in the back. Now, I would have been the only one going to jail for all that stuff. Because I was on parole. So nobody want to hear, oh man, it wasn't my gun, it wasn't my pistol, but I'm the one that get the most time. So King, no excuses, getting too much attention. Sit your little light-skinned frail ass down and just raise your kid. Because you making money for no fucking reason. You on the payroll, you on your daddy's tip, bro.
Student X, I'm sorry. What you got to say about this?
I don't really know much about the specifics of the story, but I don't know. I don't want to suggest that people need to change their behavior when confronted with the police. That's very important, and people should, at the expense of the public, be kind of trained and socialized to do better. But more importantly, the police should be trained because they're the paid servants. They get paid by us. So they need to better interact with us. And, compliance, non-compliance, there's a spectrum. But when you control for that, the biggest factor is your race. So
do you think that officer did anything out of order from judging the video clip we saw?
No.
I didn't believe
and not only that, once you put that gun up there, you need to get out of that car and get away from it because, honestly, that officer was very calm. Officers are kind of scary. So once a gun is in the car, you know what I'm saying? You need to get out the car, or else they're just going to be all panicky and stuff like that. That dude was like not even tripping. He just was like, look, now you need to come out. Now you whatever. At the end of the day, you need to be safe. I understand we talk about our rights and all of this stuff. Sue later, live today. So that's my position on that.
That little dude is so dumb though, man. It's and with me, when I saw my sons, or one of my sons in particular, early on, he was kind of showing that little, not respect for authority, and the way you first see it is, how they're interacting with you, and then, we detect something as men, we got to kind of knock it down right away, because if you don't, then you get a little idiot like that, who just put himself in danger, man. Like, he's lucky he didn't get killed. In that situation. And then, I agree that we need to train officers better too, but my God, is your life, as the FBI, we said, take charge of this property and all temporal property in view, was our general order number one. That meant like, everything you can see in your body, that's your post, you're responsible and accountable for that, and if you don't want to be, then you want to leave it to chance and happenstance. I don't recommend that. Take charge.
No, I'm not. It's not a matter of taking charge. I'm just saying that type of behavior, those type of personalities, they happen with every race, every gender. It's just, when it comes to us, it's like, we have to make this disproportionate change. No one else is making change.
You know what it is?
Then too, let me just say really quick. I remember I was 12 years old. Police pulled out the old 3A special on me. Just for climbing through my friend's milk chute. And, they tell you to stay still. It's hard to stay still if someone is trembling, like what you said, a nice guy with a 38 special, and they're shaking. Stay still. You can't stay still. You're trying to just slightly move out of the pathway of the gun. But, compliance or non-compliance, I support, trying to be as compliant as possible. Sometimes the police make it hard to comply and be reasonable. Like I think of another situation really quick. I was in the school on the weekend. Who breaks into a school on the weekend and writes their name on the board and sits there and grades papers? But you had a whole SWAT team coming. If I were white, they would not have approached me that way. They tried to force me to get on my knees. Man, I'm not getting on my knees. For what? Sorry, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if I had surgery on my knee or anything. I'll sit down. You know, but anyway, so,
that's dangerous stuff. That's dangerous stuff, bro.
To be in compliance and knowing invoking your rights, it's a fine line, and I can speak from experience that every time I tried to buck up and go against the police, it'll be belligerent. It never ended well with me or for me. I ended up sitting in jail feeling like, damn, I should have just pulled over and left it alone. But you know, sometimes we do things that we don't want to be complying with their ass because we don't look at them in that manner of respect. But
straight up, man, I got my whole.
I'm saying that's one of the benefits of having a father who's an attorney. You know, my brother would get in trouble a lot, but he knew not to cut up because his victory would come on the backside. Because he'd always beat the case, he'd always embarrass him, always do this and what the other. But the bottom line is survive to the next step. You know what I'm saying? I understand that they may be trespassing against you now, win later. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. But just win. Make sure you win. Make sure you're around to win. It's real dangerous. That's a scary job. I just want to take another extra second to commend that cop, because that cop was extremely calm and I feel like extremely respectful. That cop, in my opinion, did a great job. You know, and the dude was, the reason why you got pulled over is you was going 60 miles an hour in a 45 hour situation. They pulled you over, and then behavior. Not to mention, you know, he had like, you know, TMZ in his vape and stuff like that. So I said TMZ. I meant to say THC. THC. Sorry about that, student X. I know I betrayed your profession.
And so my whole thing is I teach, you know, being proactive, so you don't have to even be in a situation. So look, don't, you know, if you got to smash, you know what I mean, you know, just, you know, at 1 o'clock in the morning doing 1645, you know, just be on the swivel, you know, and then, you know, he had the firearm on him, vape pen, refusing to comply, you know, and dressed in the Pikachu. I mean, like I said, bro, you know, the officer definitely was cool.
All right, let's talk about Brother Carol.
Salute to our brother, big cuz out there. You missed it. We talked about the Lakers. We wanted to talk about your Warriors. Where are they? That's all I'm gonna say.
So let's talk about Cameron's. You know, this is brother. First of all, do you have the video for it?
I don't have the video. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah,
go ahead,
so,
find it.
I don't want to say too much if you're gonna play the video. I'll just say this: the bottom line is he had I forgot what that brother's name is, but it's one of Rock's sons. What's his name?
Jay Uso.
And so he's like a tag team champion with his twin brother, right? So the bottom line is he was on Cam's show and you know, just chopping it up, and Cam was like really going after. I mean, like really going after him. I felt like very uncomfortable. So that's why, you know, I'm hoping it was a skit and hoping it was staged, but the bottom line is you talk reckless to a man. It's one thing to have Twitter fingers, and it's one thing to be there in person. And homeboy you snatched him. Suffice it to say, snatched him up, put some paws on him, and I think that was it for the broadcast. So you know, you got it
real quick. Yeah, pull it up.
Hey, it's great stuff, and I hope it's fake.
Well, listen, Mace. I don't have any more questions. Nick, I'm more mad at you because you keep bringing Saturday WrestleMania niggas here, and you don't bring us a Sunday WrestleMania.
Say less, Cam. I ain't got to be
my
here.
producer, bro. You ain't bringing Sunday. I need a Sunday WrestleMania. I don't smell what the Usos cooking, and at the end. He tripped.
I think it's fake. I think it's just promo.
Yeah, because he's actually going to be wrestling now. All of a sudden, he's going to be wrestling, you know, homeboy. So again, shout out to Cam. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I didn't know that. That's The Rock's son.
Yes. Don't he look like him?
I couldn't see it when he was talking. I didn't know it until y'all said it in the group or somebody said it, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay." But it was that was very entertaining. Go ahead, Walt.
This is elevation. I love it. Cameron is on his pivot. He was a few weeks ago. He was hosting the fight. You know what I'm saying? He was a commentator for the Fondura fight against Keith Thurman. That joke, and then now he's doing this. He's showing constant elevation. You know what I'm saying? Went from a gangster rapper to this. I love it. It's like this is the influence of Ice Cube, baby.
Shout out to Cam. Alpha Ignacius, what you got to say about this?
No comentario.
No comment, man.
Still next. How about you? You got a comment?
What up, man? I didn't know too much about what was even going on there, but yeah, I hear what you guys are saying. It makes sense, but yeah, no comment.
Hey, JC, I got a theory about that. I think that's because we're getting bigger. But no, he does look like a smaller cat than I bet you if he was if you saw him standing up to the rock, you know what I'm saying? He does look smaller. But yeah, I was just basically comparing to how when you go back to your old elementary school and everything looks a little tiny, but still, I don't know. That's my theory.
Better testing, better steroid testing. That's what this
is. There you go. That's what it's up. There was a lot of HGH and all the crazy stuff that was going on. So, all right. And then update, David arrested. I mean, it was kind of inevitable. I'm honestly shocked that it took this long. But, I mean, the bottom line, they picked him up. So, I mean, that's
we talked about this last year.
Yeah, we talked about it that he should have been picked up. The fact that he got like white people treatment. I mean, you're talking about they found his body in your Lamborghini that you didn't report stolen.
It's Tesla, right?
It's Tesla. Yeah, Tesla.
Is it Tesla?
Yeah, Tesla.
Okay. But the bottom line is you didn't report it stolen. And the next thing you know, they come up with this person who's had connection to you. She's sitting there telling her parents that her boyfriend is David. You guys got it's just a whole bunch of stuff. But the bottom line is, he's arrested. We'll see how it plays out from here.
Now, I don't believe in innocent to proving guilty. I said this from day one. That dude did it. If you find, I recently bought a car for my brother, and if it was a dead body in here, by the time I drove my ass here, he did that. He did that shit. And I'm calling the police. Nah, fuck that. David, you're going down, buddy.
Just like that.
Well, I'm glad that it was a Tesla and not a Lamborghini. That's a much more reasonable throwaway vehicle, but still, brother, we got to deal with that. Yeah. Anybody got something to say about this before we pivot? You might not have too much about it. Yeah. Going. All right. So what do we got up next? Oh, I'm sure there's going to be some comments about this one. The Charlie Kirk bullet update. So let me go and just, here we go. Let me just read it for you. All right. So Tyler Robinson's defense may have sustained the biggest blow yet to their case. A forensic report's finding purportedly failed to rule out Tyler out as Charlie Kirk's killer. The report, unsealed by a judge on Wednesday, reveals that one bullet jacket fragment recovered from Kirk's autopsy was determined to come from a .30 caliber bullet, according to the Daily Mail. And this would match the caliber of the Mauser 98 30-06 rifle reportedly covered near the scene of the shooting, which prosecutors allege was used by Robinson to kill Kirk. So now I know, Student X, you got something that you want to say about this, brother. Go ahead. What you got to say?
I mean, I'm curious to see what you guys have something to say. Did something change? Is there really something that new that's happened that, now has you all, thinking that my prediction, if you will, that a dude is going to walk or get killed before trial, is going to change?
That kind of was a diversion. I mean, the bottom line is
not at all.
There was a report that suggested that it was inconclusive, and a lot of people ran with it, saying that basically, it proves that it wasn't him. It's inconclusive. Well, this one was actually conclusive that it's the same caliber. So now everybody's just like, oh, they're just making up stuff. So I mean,
I understand what you're restating what the what you just said. I understand what is being said, but look, the bottom line is that nothing's changed for me because there are still so many different holes. Like first of all, is that the weapon itself was some old family heirloom. Something that that wasn't cited. If you're gonna, let me just tell you, if you're gonna go hunting, let alone a planned assassination attempt. Someplace you've never been before, because Tyler Robinson never went to that school or anything like that, never been before, you have to have things properly cited. So, by the time this all gets through the forensics and the defense, if this information breaks down the whole situation, then that's going to be a problem. The rifle breakdown and disassembly angle, it's been, noted that bolt action Mauser, cannot be quickly broken down. You know what I mean? It's not so literally like how they recounted how situations, are transpired. It doesn't even align with the fact that the rifle wasn't disassembled part. It doesn't line up. You know what I mean? So that's a problem. When you start looking at it, still again the magic bullet. Is what Candace call it. Dealing with that situation, that's a problem. But I mean, there's still so many holes in this evidence. It doesn't shock me that at the end of the day, whether the first one was inconclusive, now they came back and double back on it because there was a big public backlash on that.
It was unsealed.
I'm just saying, I might even go to conspiracy angle with it. I'm going to assume that they're right. Okay, it matches it. But if after the fact, if this really is a conspiracy, then someone could go and shoot a bullet. There's all type of things. Like I said, man, they got to show that not only did it come from that bullet came from that rifle, they're gonna have to show that it was Tyler Robinson that was on the rooftop that pulled the trigger, and shot him. They got to prove that too. And then they got to prove that caliber is actually truly what struck, Charlie Kirk in his neck, because we still see that a 306, is going to be doing a lot more damage, than what
600 pages.
Like I said, there's no change for me, so I'm curious about,
to the next 600 pages. The defense is begging for them to basically
it could be 10,000, bro.
Let's get to it. That's my point. That's my point. They're pushing it back because it's just too much for them to analyze. There's just so much evidence against this guy. They just need a whole bunch of time to go over. I'm just giving you the context.
You're speculating, you know what I mean? I think they're pushing back because they were inundated at the last minute with a bunch of data, and they want to go through it. That's perfectly reasonable.
Hey, real quick, shout out to La Brea Trucking, our brother at La Brea Trucking checking in with us. Much respect, brother. Always good to see you, man.
That's what's up. East to west, north to south, all points in between.
Right. Yep. So
what do you have next? Speaking of
the bomb dogs never alerted to the rifle, at the scene of the crime.
Go ahead.
The crime scene was being.
Go ahead. All right.
Y'all saw the number at the end. Call La Brea Trucker for all your trucking needs. East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast, North to South, South to North. Call the brother. Y'all saw the number at the end. I made it bigger so that y'all can read it, and I let it play longer so that y'all can write it down. So write down the number and call the brother. Damn, oh man, that brother fell out his seat. Nice guy fell out his seat. What happened? Oh, let's go to a commercial. Go be alive. Get you some of that black honey. You want to get it in person at the Petty Vice, at the Crenshaw Mall, and at the shopping center. Forgot where it's at, but get you some of that black honey. Score Bar and Lounge. Go check them out. 7123 Franklin Boulevard in Sacramento, California. You go watch the playoff. The playoff game start tonight. The Lakers versus the Rocket, game 1. Check them out. They're going all the way. Student X and Mr. Walk. They're going all the way.
Focus Up Network. Salute. Membership. Salute. Appreciate you.
All right. Man, I got one more commercial. I should have uploaded the commercial here. But tune in for Mr. Student X. You have the Teenage Mutant or the go ahead, brother.
Yo, the Mutant Ninjas Politics Show. We're gonna do that later on today. We're going to be talking about, hey, is Trump, really this chess genius and this chess master, or is he playing bluff? And so we're going to get into it.
All right. So that'll be Student X, Brother Afro, and Mr. Tonight's guy. His computer's disconnected right now. So hopefully he'll get back online. But we're going to go to our next topic. We was talking about the Charlie Kirk. Did you have anything to add to the Charlie Kirk, Brother Afro?
Absolutely.
Go ahead, speak on the Charlie Kirk and the.
Student X seems to have more information than the defense even has. But I think that there's a perception that Charlie Kirk was some type of martyr, maybe for white nationalists he was, but he's nothing but a modern day Lincoln Rockwell to me, the former Nazi leader that was assassinated by one of his own comrades. But I think in this case, we have the motive. It's in the text message. He had a trans girlfriend that he lived with, that he was romantically attached to. He was mad at Charlie for his transphobia. They have DNA, weapons, casing. There's incriminating statements. They have surveillance footage. And, they have the family tips, his own girlfriend, trans person, his pastor, his father. In order for Tyler to be a patsy is someone that's framed. How do you frame something that's coming from independent sources? The fingerprints are coming from the police station. The ballistic stuff is coming from the state crime lab. I mean, this is the surveillance footage is coming from the CPD at that particular college. So that's a coordinated effort. You have to prove a frame up. You just can't try to poke holes in existing evidence as if that supports your claim. The conspiracy theorists need to have evidence that a conspiracy happened. And for me, it's just Occam's ruler. The simplest explanation is the most.
It's simply not true. It's not true. As someone who presents something that is counter,
you don't want to drag on.
It's not my duty to go ahead and prove that there's a new narrative and what really happened. All I got to do is just bring up the fact that there's inconsistencies here. It's not accurate.
Student X, you laid out let's not drag on too much about it. Let's pivot on and talk about the Ashlee Janae tragedy. Okay, right. So Ashlee Janae was an influencer that basically came up dead. She was strangled or suffocated, something like strangled. But the bottom line is she had her man who basically is just that they actually had an argument with. So that they were at like some hotel. The hotel staff had to break it up. And the next thing you know, she comes up strangled. So
let me lay it out. She was a popular influencer, I believe, like 25 or late 20s or whatever. And she went to, I believe it was Nigeria for her birthday.
Tanzania.
She went to Tanzania for her birthday with her new white fiance who proposed to her in Africa. And then they had a blow-up argument in the lobby. And then she was found dead in her room as they say she hung herself. And that's what he says. And it took him a long time. He said he was away on his computer doing some crypto stuff or something, and he came back and found her dead. The family saying they do not believe she would have killed herself. She had a lot going on in her life. She was happy. She was in a whole different, who gonna go to a whole different country and commit that? Who? That doesn't make any sense. So they believe he was arrested by the Tanzanian police, and he's in custody. Hopefully they get to the bottom of this and find out what's going on. And then if you want to bring in the Black Manosphere, the Black Manosphere was being disrespectful because they found trees of her tweets and stuff of her disrespecting black men and exclaiming or screaming her preference of Caucasian men over black men, and they offended and people going back for, you know how the internet works. And then one more thing, Joe Budden was a real life friend of hers, and he expressed that he was a friend of hers and she was a real person. They used to go to clubs together. He said she was a great personality, good person. That was his take on it. But what's y'all take on this whole Ashlee Janae tragedy?
Well, it was a little odd that she went out there, that he proposed, that was getting married. Maybe she got cold feet. Maybe she didn't want to get married. I'm just kidding. Let me stop. But it's kind of odd for a person to go to a different country to commit suicide. Listen, y'all black women, y'all have all this animosity toward black men, and then y'all want to express it on the internet and the tweets and Facebook, and then look what happens to this lady, because she got a long history of tweets and stuff she said about black men. Every day a black man wakes up and figures out a way to embarrass us as black people. Like, okay, did you get embarrassed when you was out there with your white dude? Was you embarrassed hanging from that damn coat hanger?
Damn, dude. Wow. Okay.
Afro-agnostics?
General statements like black women, you preclude that they have some type of disdain for black men. I don't know where that comes from. I've never felt that. I have a loving black mother, grandmother, aunties, cousins. I've been nurtured my whole life in my career throughout, outside of, just by black women. So I don't understand where this coming from. I do see a pattern with the Janae, the Ashlee thing, with the David thing, and also with the situation with Justin Fairfax. They seem to be all precipitated by arguments, and things like that. And I think that we as men, this is all under the umbrella of domestic violence. And, men, we commit domestic violence at higher rates than women. They commit domestic violence at less than half of our rates. So we have to really kind of figure out how we can reduce and be equal to women in this regard. And I think part of doing that is to, part of the patriarchy is part of the blame, and I can get into that later, but patriarchy kind of compels us to dominate. And one of the ways we dominate is through violence. So I think that the numbers, are evidence of that. So
are those numbers more about reporting or as opposed to what's happening?
Yeah, so generally, the general rule of thumb is like what's reported is less than what is actually committed. A lot of most things go unreported. So I forgot mathematical estimation on that.
Okay, gotcha. Understood. So, all right. So that's that situation. Student X, you got something to say about that?
Yeah. Hold up, man. Afro forgot something. Hold up. Let me real quick. He forgot something.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Put the picture up, man. Put the picture up real quick, man.
Oh, man.
Let me explain something to you now, man. Yeah, I get tired. This argument is so ridiculous, man. I got a picture in there, and this is going to be a reoccurring theme. I feel like whenever I'm on this show, man, is Kevin Samuels has said that the new welfare for the sisters that's in a certain type of mindset, this modern woman, was going to be the white man.
Damn.
Right? That's what he taught, you know what I mean? And so, what's happening is, winter is here. It's not coming. It's here. And as this war impacts, even more. I mean, we already seen how the Trump administration came in. A lot of sisters lost their job. Now we're going to have higher gas prices. We're going to have goods and stuff going up because this war not ending anytime soon. It's about to get, serious in here. You know what I mean? But look, sister made a bad choice. You know what I mean? Because there had to be some signs and signals that this white boy was going to kill your ass on the motherland. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? On the motherland, and look, Tanzania, not to get confused with Tunisia, there's another country inside Africa, you know what I mean? But, my goodness, you know what I'm saying? That is not the way I would want to go. But, condolences to the sister, the family and whatnot. But, man, sisters, y'all going to have to make some better choices, man. You know what I mean? Quit trying to, get these white boys that want to take you to a trip. You know what I mean? You might not come back.
And she was warned. Like she have a lot of, when she was streaming live, people were saying, "Get out of there, girl. He gonna kill you." They was saying that. It's on the live feeds. People that was commenting from men and women. So,
well, I like to respond to that because the way, I mean, for one, he did a body language antic and then a meme, and he got a big horn for saying nothing. I just understand. But, secondly, this whole like this the suggestion that interracial marriage is the problem or something like that. Well, black men are involved in interracial dating and marriage at a higher rate than black women. Black women are more loyal to black men than black men are to black women. So that's a fact. So let's deal with that right there. And no matter what, people see signs and things like that. The onus for the crime and the immoral thing that was committed is on the man who actually did it. And this particular incident does not account for the disproportionate amount of domestic violence that's perpetrated by men, as opposed to less than half of that perpetrated by women. So we as men have to figure out how can we reduce and be more equal to women when it comes to domestic violence. And I think a lot of it, and this is not an attack on men, but we've evolved to fight, to be violent. So that's why we have to be socialized differently. I'm all for segregating the genders into different, because they have to be socialized different. The maturity level is different. Testosterone doesn't make men aggressive. It makes men moody and irritable and more easily aggravated. So it's kind of like we have this little PMS by nature, and we need to be socialized different in how to control it, because we savages. We have to learn how to control that savagery for good.
We do control it. Control it, brother.
Now, let's get it down to the level of women. I think women control it better. The numbers show us. When it comes to domestic violence,
they're not stronger. They don't have the capability to do what we can do. We could be a real whole problem out here. All five of us on this. We are. Wait, listen. All five of us on here, we have women we deal with, and we have no history of the BS. So that's controlling our. That's us controlling the urges that we have when them women come with that yang. We want to be like and all that, but we don't. We don't. So you saying that we don't control it? I'm talking about all men in general. For the most part, we do. It's just some simple cases. And I want to say one more thing. As far as like with the white guy, we are making it like he's guilty. I want to give the white boy a benefit of the doubt. Maybe she did commit suicide. Maybe he had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna get on the limb and say I don't think he did.
Oh my goodness! Well,
I don't know if he did it or not, but he definitely gets the presumption of innocence. You know what I mean? I was trying to be funny, with the thing, and him being white, is not the point. You know what I mean? That wasn't the point to me. You know what I mean? But it's the fact that if you have women who are targeting and trying to identify men who have a dollar amount on the interaction, they're about to that's about to occur. And then there's different activities that, is being inferred by that said amount of money being deployed. In other words, this becomes transactional, and then you don't live up to the transaction. Then I can see how, there could be some dispute that comes into play, and then there could be a disagreement. You know what I mean? So I don't know exactly what was going on, but we'll find out a little bit more probably in the future.
Well, someone was killed, and someone's not. We'll see how it plays out. But I actually followed that up. I followed it up with this one for this very particular reason. So this is an example, just so we wouldn't make it an issue about race, but this is another example of a couple. This was a senator or some governor,
lieutenant governor of Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. Who I think he went through some type of shaming, right? He basically, there was some type of scandal. Is that correct? But suffice it,
sure they were in a contentious divorce, though.
They were still living with each other. So, but they were separated, and then she wanted a divorce. So they were in the process of that. And suffice it to say, he killed her, and then he killed himself. And he's got 2 children living in the house with him. So, this is an example of just, I just basically wanted to follow it up with the flip side of it because he got a super light colored female over there. You know what I'm saying? So
and I just want to agree with Walk said. I mean, men are very powerful, man. We commit damage. We have that potential, and that's why we need. And I think folks in the nation would agree to that. We need to segregate gender education because men have to be socialized differently. In my opinion, we as of now under patriarchy. We are taught to dominate. We are taught to be in charge. Patriarchy literally means father rule. Man is the authority. And a lot of times how do you demonstrate dominance if not by dominating people? That's what I've done my whole life when I had it done to me as a boy, as growing up. That's how you exert my masculinity. But we have to think about masculinity in different ways. So that's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't suggest doing that because it's like that for a reason. You know what I mean? If you come in encounter with someone trying to cause you harm, you're gonna wish you had those skills. You know what I mean? And not have them. So
divorce is not causing you harm or there's a disagreement or argument. That's what I'm saying. We have to differentiate between a real threat and just a domestic dispute.
But dude, I mean, the thing is that the majority of people, do that, and men do that just fine. You know what I mean? But you do have those that have dispositions.
Hold on, let me just be clear.
That increase the odds of something violent like that happening. In his situation, I don't know what it is, but maybe it was emotional. Maybe the female he cheated on him, and I don't know.
Maybe it was emotional. Maybe it was emotional.
Yeah, absolutely. Testosterone. I mean. But all I'm saying is that can we reduce our violence, domestic violence, to the level of women? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm saying.
But you're acting like it's me as a man that I go constantly out thinking that hell I'm not gonna kill or harm women today. You know what I mean? That's in my mind anyway.
Just so we don't spin our wheels on this, what I'm hearing, and he's saying that look, men do more physical damage like this. So men, let's do less damage. That's not the same. Walk is absolutely.
Think about how ridiculous that sounds. You know what I mean? That's an individual situation. That's not. Like you telling me that it's like
Student X, not you. If it don't apply to Student X, if it don't apply to you, it don't apply to you. But unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of men out there doing terrible things in the world. I mean, there's men out there killing and raping.
Can I tell you real quick though? Can I tell you real quick? I mean, he said it's individual, and it's a public issue. When enough people do it, it becomes a public issue. But I'm not gonna get into a situation. But I was in a situation with my ex once, and I put my hand on the trigger, and I let off a round. You know what I'm saying? In the house, not at her, not pointing at her. But after that, I regretted, of course, doing that. But her brother actually saw me months later because he had a certain perception of me. When he heard that I did that, the dude congratulated me. Oh man, you a real one, dog. I didn't even know. He congratulated me for doing, for using this threatening act, just as an example. But men are applauded and celebrated for dominance, and I think that's the root of the issue.
But it's not normal that men are gonna applaud and celebrate that. You know what I mean? Let me just say that. You know what I mean? So clearly, the brother. It's from a different culture, if you will, you know what I mean? But that's most men, normal men, is not with that. You know what I mean?
What's your address, Afro? What's your address?
He looked like that meme. He looked like that meme.
You see? That's
the example. I'm about to say, give you a solo. Do it again, Walt. Do we get that picture? There we go.
What's your address, brother?
I'm surprised at what brother shared just based on the fact that he just shared with us about all the loving women he had around him and all the support and whatnot and everything. That's great for you.
He talked about he was on some nefarious stuff. He's basically
But I'm just saying that other experience. You know what I mean? He's right there. You know what I mean? But like the other experience, having all these positive women around you, I would think that would, if that profile would tend to less violence against a woman. You know what I mean? Versus a more, is what I would think. Now those who had negative experience with women and females and moms, then I would see that could be increase.
I never put physical hands on a woman as an adult. I can't say as a teenager, what I did, but that particular situation, there's a lot of things going on, and I used that to try to extract some information that I felt was being withheld.
All right, let's talk about a real dominant person.
Wait. I gotta pay my Candace Owens.
We should probably check in on Trump's dumbass and talk about the war that we're currently engaged in.
Know your place, woman. No, but anyway. So Trump, he came out with the Jesus, do not salute her. The Jesus piece. You know what I'm saying? So he came out with the picture, and he put it out there, and then there was all this fallout and stuff like that. And he goes, "Oh, I thought it was like, he was a doctor." Just take a moment to look at this picture. You know what I'm saying?
His nurse is right by him.
Yeah.
Nurse is right by him.
But he ain't dressed like a doctor. There's a soldier right by him too. Okay? So which one is he? You know what I'm saying? So suffice it to say, there was a whole bunch of fallout for us, and if the Democrats had done this, boy, Fox would have lost their shit. But at the end of the day,
just imagine if Obama did some shit like that.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. So I don't know. I don't want to labor too much on it. If that's enough to say on it, we can move. Because honestly, to me, the more interesting thing is Pete Hegseth.
Well, I got something on that. Hold up. Okay, I got something on that for real. You know what I mean? In terms of that Jesus piece.
Go ahead.
You're missing the main important part. The main important part wasn't just the picture, but it was what happened when others started coming out, condemning him, including the Pope. You know what I'm saying? The leader of all Catholicism, and then his attack on the Pope himself, and so,
he attacked the Pope first.
I'm sorry?
I said he attacked the Pope first, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And so, he basically, he has so much going on right now is, you have to wonder what's really going on in this man's head. But Pope Leo came out, and of course he condemned imperial wars, Iran, resistance.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about what's in his head, because there's a report that came out that a lot of people's not talking about either, for some reason, which was in the New York Times. You know what I mean? But we'll get to that. But yeah, no, it's Trump is messing up, bad, and the question is why? What's really going on?
I want to say really quick, this says a lot about the psychology of Trump. First of all, his posts write, like I come into contact with middle school writing all the time. He writes just like a middle school student. Linguistic analysis, they verified and confirmed his level was between 4th and 6th grade. But this post shows a lot about his psychology as an autocrat. I know somebody on his team, and if he doesn't have someone on his team, that's another example of why he's an autocrat. I know someone on the team said this would not be a good idea. This would alienate, this is sensitive. This affects the sensibilities of your Christian evangelical base. And I think, him being an autocrat, he doesn't listen, or he's surrounding himself. He's insulated by sycophants and loyalists, but it just shows him as an autocrat.
Can you share with us what is an autocrat, brother?
Autocrat means one rule, like one person. Trump wants to make decisions himself. He doesn't want to work through the other two branches of government. He wants to, be a king, be a dictator. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
So now Brother Pete Hegseth. Let me just take the word brother out of there. Pete Hegseth.
That's you guys on that stuff, brother. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm trying to treat human beings like we're all brothers and sisters on a level. But this dude, I don't want to do that with him. But this dude is sitting there quoting. This dude is quoting the fake Bible verse from Pulp Fiction that Samuel Jackson said. So just in case you didn't know, Quentin Tarantino made that verse up. That's not like
not the end of it. Verse. The end of it is a real verse, but all the rest of it before that is.
Yeah, he made up he made a fictitious verse. Okay, whether he used components of truthful stuff, that doesn't matter. The bottom line is he made one strictly for the movie, strictly for the circumstance. And this cat, Pete Hegseth, was literally not only just, again, if you think it's a great quote and you want to use it, that's fine. But what you don't do is leave people in prayer and bow their heads as you read this fake Bible quote. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's just misstep after misstep after the supposed, Christian I guess regime that's supposed to be the Trump regime.
They asked him, they said, Mr. Hegseth said, what is your favorite part of the Bible? And he said, my favorite scene from the Bible. That's his favorite scene from the Bible.
Exactly. So
I can go first because I'm the shortest. I mean, it's really just two words, dumb and dangerous.
Yeah, dumb and dangerous. Exactly. You got something to say about this, Brother Walk? Yeah, I didn't think so. Stu, next.
Yeah, I think the other part that we're missing on here, is that
we're missing a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. Bro, the main thing I would say right here is that, is that when you start looking at just how unpopular this war is and the people that are executing and the mistakes, the lies that are taking place, you have a situation where, man, it feels like, I mean, I never observed this before, but it feels like half the country is rooting for Iran. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just, regardless of the situation, I'm talking about, man, how can you even be with any of this madness and lunacy, right now at all? Let me tell you something, like, Israel, they have something called the Daya Doctrine, and this was named after a Hezbollah stronghold in Lebanon. And basically, this doctrine involves deliberately targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure to punish populations for harboring resistance groups like Hezbollah. So the goal is, of course, to deter resistance to Israel hegemony and making civilians pay a heavy price. This is who the U.S. is backing and with, and helping in their endeavors. You see what I'm saying? So, there is a big, crazy dynamic that's going on here that I think people are really not really paying attention to. And probably the verse he should have, the last thing I would say on it is probably the verse he should have quoted was, it appears multiple times in the Bible, but you will hear the wars and rumors of wars, but see it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come.
Now, Stu, next provoking me to say this, I just want to, because it's not unusual or anything unique, but the most unpopular war in the United States was probably the Vietnam War. The number of the populace that were against the war, especially after North Viet Cong took over Saigon, it was like, why are we there? We can't even defend the base. But yeah.
Did that come before or after the casualties?
What do you mean? Is towards it that they were involved in the war?
No, I'm talking about the opposition, the strong opposition to the Vietnam War. You cited.
Like anything else.
When was the height of that?
Probably the.
Yeah, I'm saying post all the casualties that started to occur, or before.
Well, the opposition or resistance to it developed over time. It started in the 50s. Culminated, it developed, and I think the height of it was probably the early 70s.
Yeah, my point is that as more dead Americans were coming home, that is what drove the unpopularity. Right here in this conflict right now, the way that the trajectory is going is that, and we're going to talk about it, there is no ceasefire, that Trump is going to, it seems inevitable that they're going to send ground troops in, and then that's when we're going to see, significant casualties, taking place at that point. So this war is by far, especially again, we're dealing in modern era and times, like the war that was fought in World War or in the Vietnam War and World War II, but it don't even compare to what we're dealing with right now. It's a whole new battlefield, that's taking place.
It's not kind of the perception that Democrats were kind of putting out, though, that Trump would lead to a situation like this.
You said, both sides were saying that. Both sides were saying that. We were already there with the Democrats, but then of course it was funny hearing it from the Democrats saying, "Oh man, Trump's going to get us into deep war." I knew that was inevitable from both ways. I didn't vote for any of these clowns. Period. So and here we are. I think it's going to. In fact, I know for a fact that it's going to get worse. I hope I'm wrong. You talk about me being wrong. I hope I'm wrong on this one.
Word, agreed. I want let me do one thing. Let me give Trump a little bit of a dap here. So he appointed this Dr. Erica Schwartz sister, but again, not dapping him because he appointed a sister. I'm dapping him because he actually appointed someone who's actually competent and knows what to do with their job.
Yeah.
And ironically, they just needed somebody, and they were just like, just damn it, let's just go ahead and do her. It was the weirdest thing that as chaotic as his whole administrative is, they just were so frustrated that they were like, let's just get someone who can actually not be that. Literally, the criteria was let's just get someone who's not crazy, because RFK Jr. was just off the rails. So the bottom line is, I don't care how you got to that decision. I'm just glad you made the decision. So again, I'm not even being facetious about you. Good one. So,
hey, man, I just want to, upplay a little bit, man. And salute to that sister right there, man. Not only a veteran, ex-deputy surgeon general, a 24-year U.S. public health service officer, and a Coast Guard rear admiral. So she has a deep experience in disease surveillance, vaccination programs, disaster response, all type of stuff. So she knows all about everything. So she is interesting. About how this is going, because I'm not so happy about what's going on at the HAS department. In terms of, I'm not seeing a healthy America emerging, thus far, so.
You know what? I got something that'll gauge you, brother.
We got a podcast though, so.
Hey, so check this out. There was a situation at an Amazon factory where they had an employee have a medical situation that was basically dying, and co-workers were like, "Hey, this person is having a situation. I would like to give them CPR." And management was basically like F that, keep working. They made them work and let this person die, and then made them keep on working. That body was there while they were working for quite some time. It's a crazy situation, Brother Walk.
That's pretty much protocol. When something happens, they don't want to be liable, whether you save them or not. The company don't want to be liable. My buddy went through this situation. He was like in a group home or something, and a lady was dying, and he was a medic, but they wouldn't let him go. They just let her die. They basically just let her go through her convulsions and everything, and he could have saved her. But yeah, so that's terrible.
But I just want to say really quick, that's on Amazon, because they know these type of situations happen, and they should have certified people in CPR. I'm certified in CPR. I could administer it. I'm a teacher. You like, why do you need to have it? Because I can be around children and something happens, and the same thing on the job. But I'm just saying in a nutshell, this is a labor struggle that's going on between Amazon and the Amazon workers. This is just classic capitalist struggle. They're trying to make things speedy and efficient. The workers want safety rights. They want better living wages. They want to be able to have benefits, medical benefits, because I'm sure this person was, had some medical issues, and they have ventilation issues. Because my son works for Amazon. They have a lot of issues, and a lot of people. I just want to say really quick. Let me set this for 30 seconds, really quick. There, a lot of people don't know that things like the 40-hour work week that was fought for over 80 years, weekends off, minimum wage, workers' compensation. If you got hurt or injured on a job, it was, oh well, back in the day, there's no compensation. So these things we fought for, and Amazon doesn't have a union. There's a brother, Chris Smalls, during the Black Lives Matter. He was a part of that movement to unionize Amazon. So folks need to support him, and he has a GoFundMe in his efforts to unionize Amazon.
Yeah. See, that's what happened. You set yourself 30 seconds, and it came out.
Hey, I like it.
So we did not address the meme. We got to address the ceasefire. We got to talk about that before we go away. So, Mr. Floyd X.
Hey, open for business or not open for business? When I was making the meme this morning, I was just gonna put the open for business, and then I said, it might close up today. And sure enough, it was closed. And I'm looking at this shit like, damn, this Trump dude, he's wilding out doing all this dumb shit. He can't save his face for nothing. The Iranian student next say it seems like majority of the people in America is cheering on Iran or want Iran to win. I'm kind of on that side too, not because I'm going against America. I'm just tired of seeing this president doing dumb shit and putting a pounding on Iran like they're the worst in the world. They cannot have no nuclear weapons. Man, miss me with that shit. Bring these goddamn gas prices down and stop faking for the stock market every weekend. You come with good news, then you come back with the bullshit. He do it every weekend. He coming with this shit, man.
Student X.
I mean, he's managing the fall of America, and that's what people keep missing. But back to the ceasefire update, is this the ceasefire occurred because the U.S. recognized the futility of continued military operations in Southern off-ramp. That's what this was all about. And that's what what people don't understand, because if you're listening to Trump, and Fox News, then my God, we're winning. No problems here. Everything is all good. CNN gives you a little bit of that, but then they also give you at least the counter, narrative that's going on now. But both sides, in fairness, want to off ramp, but Iran refuses to make an unearned concession. They are, quote unquote, winning, right? For a number of reasons. But the strategic reality is that the U.S. and Israel has lost this conflict. Their objectives have not been achieved. There is no regime, change. The regime is so-called intact. The government, Iran retains effective ballistic missile capacity and total control of the Strait. That's the whole thing. Is that America don't get to decide. Trump's grand plan was the block. You know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. The thing is that everyone knows how to navigate. Because if U.S. ships really can't get within 400 to 600 miles really of the Strait, of the coastline, I should say. But definitely, if you want to say, okay, they could just do whatever. If they get within 20 miles of the coast, then now you have just the basic, armaments, that could go ahead and make problems, difficult for that ship. So, the ships right now to avoid detection and interdiction, all they need to do is just hug the Iranian coast, and there's nothing that could do. So China and Russia has been openly defining it, telling America to pound sand, and I dare you, to go ahead and do something about this. Negotiations are continuing right now, despite this public bluster, and there's a lot of things that are going on in the background, but the economic pressures is what's driving this off ramp. Europe is about to run out of aviation fuel. They have about 11, 12, 2 weeks, let's say, before the entire aviation industry has to halt. The fuel surcharges are already rising at this sharp rate. The oil prices volatility is impacting the global markets. Trump can't even afford a prolonged conflict. He needs energy prices to fall. There should be a deal that gets done, but there should have been a lot of things that need to get done, but no one can explain is, why is Trump just still capitulating to the needs of Israel? And so, right now, Trump's strategy is simply just declare victory, spin a positive narrative, claim credit for peace, to regain momentum. But Netanyahu's in the cockpit. My last point I'll make is that it's not even getting any type of coverage at all. But General Joseph Vodo, a former CENTCOM commander, recently, this April 10th, came out and publicly stated that officers have a duty to refuse illegal, unconstitutional orders. He criticized the potential strikes on Iranian civilian infrastructures, and again, it hasn't been covered. And because right now you're hearing about all these targets being hit, man, look, Iran is fortified. The U.S., who I call the Epstein regime, they didn't have good targeting data from the gate. How do we know? Is they bombed and killed, a school of children right from the gate, right from the beginning. So everything they're hitting is old intel or intel that the Israeli is giving them. And Iran has moved anything, necessary and vital out the way, for the most part. They had all type of other strategies that they deployed, so there's been a lot of missiles and munitions being dumped on the country. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of doing anything significant to, again, destabilize this government, that's not happening. You see what I'm saying?
Another thing that's not talked about is like some countries already feeling it. Like I think in South Korea and the Philippines, they are working down 4-day work weeks to save energy, shutting shit down on certain days because they don't have the energy already. They're already missing out because they get their fuel or whatever from the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And one thing, one point that we're missing is that actually Floyd X has been talking about how you don't have to follow illegal instructions. So we've been talking about that. Not to mention, I think there was some general that talked about that, and they went after him saying that it was going to be you're talking about basically treason and stuff like that. So I mean, that actually has been out there. Afro-agnostic, you haven't had a moment to speak for a little bit. You got something to say about this?
Yeah, let me set my timer in 1 minute.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You had to bump it up.
I want to say finally, X might be missing the point. I'm not sure, but I think this conflict is all about China. has nothing to do with Israel per se. That's, a bunch of misinformed propaganda. Israel is there to help the United States control the Middle East. But I think this, the goal is to control or influence the key oil routes that China is dependent upon. First was Venezuela, a big trade partner with China, and now it's Iran. So the goal is to disrupt or put pressure on the flow of energy on China. And China's goal is to try to find a way to not be dependent upon the U.S. for anything or anything that's under U.S. control. So that's the essence of the conflict. In a lot of ways, the disruption of the oil and the instability created by Trump gives the U.S. Some leverage, but at the same time, it comes as an expense too.
See, that clock is the problem.
No, yes, it's not good. If he has some more something of substance to add, go ahead and add it. But I can already tell you right now that from my standpoint, I'm not missing that. The U.S. wants to harm China. Hell, they talked about it pre-election, after election, and anything in their military posture, absolutely is trying to harm, China. But, again, it's done the opposite. What it's done is that, China, is reliant on that strait. And so, China is absolutely arming and providing Iran along with Russia, who, again, don't forget, there's a war going on over there that I think is about to escalate because Russia's ready to shed that situation, so yeah, of course, China's involved, there's all sorts of situations that are at play. I never doubted or say anything different than that. But like I said, China is arming and providing intel and assets to Iran that has allowed Iran to be a lot more deadly. And if this starts again, my goodness, I'm telling you, the only other option that is going to be left for Israel and the United States, and I'm sure they've talked about it, is because they're running low on missiles, is going to be nuclear. This is going nuclear. This is turning into a global war. That's what ultimately this is going to turn into. I hope I'm wrong, but Netanyahu, as his last resort, is going to be nuclear weapons.
Taco.
Oh, man.
So that having been said, we don't have Alpha Agnosis, so that's an excuse to drop off that last little discussion. So anyway, so thank you for listening. Click, subscribe, offer comments, all of that stuff.
I want to leave y'all with a treat.
What's up, little Smokey? Craig Jr. I brought my dogs with me.
Hello, dogs.
What you got for us? Yo, what you got for us, punk?
None.
Yeah. I used to play with the Rams. Drafted in 91. 11th round.
We know.
Man, can you just get my ring back?
What ring? You know what? I'm ready to go right now if less calls. What, Terry still got it? Huh?
Damn! I can hear that. Every time, Terry.
Yeah, that's right. We out.
I just want to share that. That's Ice Cube's son and Chris Tucker's son reenacting that role. And the new Friday is coming. That was for the Rams draft day. So they made a video for that.
Okay, that's what I didn't know what was going on there. But okay, yeah, thank you for the context.
All right. So salute to them brothers and salute to the Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. Look forward to seeing this Friday. And on that note, we got
Mutant Politics, 10:30 a.m. just in basically about 11 minutes.